till my trophies at last I lay down. I will cling, so I'll take to the old rugged cross and exchange till my trophies at last I lay down. And exchange, so I'll take to the old rugged cross and exchange. Till my
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another evening of excellence at our Let's Talk Health program. We are excited for all those who have joined us tonight, and I just want to assure you that you are going to be blessed beyond measure by the information that you are going to be receiving during tonight's program. You know, the Lord is doing great things through Leap to Health Ministries. So I am just encouraging everyone, to take advantage of this opportunity and gather as much information and resources as you can. Because as we know, very soon we will not be able to have these online meetings. And that's why we should not take it for granted. But I think that we should learn as much as we can so that we can be blessing to others. So a special welcome to one and all. Please bow with me. Eternal God and Father, we just want to thank you for this opportunity that you have given to us. Lord, you said that your people perish for lack of knowledge. But we are so grateful, oh Father, that you are instructing your people. Heavenly Father, our health, you are interested in our health. And oh God, you never leave your children, neither your people in darkness. So we thank you for this opportunity that you are given to us. Help us not to take them for granted, O Lord. But I pray, O Lord, that you would open our minds and our hearts. I pray for the presenter for this evening that you would be with him and continue using him in such a mighty and powerful way, O God. I pray for every participant that is on tonight. I pray, O God, that you would remove any and every distraction from us tonight, and that this message, this presentation tonight will be so meaningful, O Father, and full of information, that we would use this information to make the right choices. So we give you a high note of praise. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen and amen. Our presenter for this evening is Kevin Fuller. And Kevin is married to Rita Fuller. And he will tell us a little bit more about his wife and family in just a bit. He has a 40-year investigative background, consulting, military, and business management. He offers advice and expertise to individuals and businesses in need of services. Their work can focus on operations, strategy, management, farming, country living, and product acquisitions. He also gathers data and insights through research and interviews, running analysis, making PowerPoint presentation, and pitching solution to clients. But before he speaks to us tonight, we are going to listen to our theme song. And after the theme song, we will listen to our presenter as he come to present to us this evening. So sit back. I think by now everyone should know that theme song. So you could just sit back and sing in the background. And after the theme song, then we will continue.
I am the God that healeth thee. I am the Lord, your healer. I sent my word and healed your disease. I am the Lord, your healer. I am the God that healeth thee. I am the Lord, your healer. I sent my word and healed your disease. I am the Lord, your healer.
God's name is more powerful than any disease you can name tonight. You might have received a horrible report from the doctors and told you your disease is incurable. But you know what? There's hope tonight. There is hope because God's promised that He would heal us. I want you to put His word on your lips tonight. Sing His word back to Him and see if His name isn't more powerful than cancer, than heart disease, or any disease that you can name tonight. Oh yes, He's your healer. Let's sing it to Him. You are the God that healeth me.
You are the God that healeth me. You are the Lord, my healer. You sent your word and you healed my disease. You are the Lord, my healer. You are the God. You are the God that healeth me. Oh, you are the Lord. You are the Lord, my healer. You sent your word and you healed my disease. You are the Lord, my healer. You sent your word and you healed my disease. You are the Lord, my healer. You sent your word and you healed my disease. You are the Lord, my healer. I am
The only hope for better things is the education of the the education of the people in right principles. Disease, disease, disease. So what is disease? Disease is an effort of nature to free the system from conditions that result from a violation of the laws of health. In case of sickness, there are 4 steps that should be taken. Step number 1, the cause should be ascertained. Step number 2, unhealthful conditions should be changed. Step number 3, wrong habits should be corrected. And step number 4, nature is to be assisted in her effort to expel impurities and to reestablish right conditions in the system. So the next voice you are going to hear is the voice of our presenter, Kevin Fuller. Over to you, my brother.
God bless you. Thank you so very much. Greetings, everyone, my brothers, my sisters. God is awesome. And I just thank God for his blessings. As a brother mentioned, I have 40 years of research, and God blessed me when I thought he was done blessing. He blessed me with a beautiful wife who just turned out to be one of the lovely assistants to help make all this stuff happen. God sent me to Wisconsin, and when he sent me to Wisconsin, he changed my life, and he just started downpouring things into us as we opened up our minds to receive what God has for us. I did a presentation that I'm doing for you tonight. I did it once before. It said how our food is killing us, and it's shocking what's going on. I'm going to do that again. And with sad news, I have more things to add to that is killing us, that's tearing us down. You don't need to be a researcher when you can simply look around and talk to people and find out that there's 1, 2 to 3 people of each family dying of cancer this year around you. A young lady that I work with in her 30s, cancer all over her body, chemo, radiation, going through all the treatments currently. Buried a cousin. At that cousin's funeral was another cousin who died at the funeral, cancer, in their 30s. Young people, cancer is up 80% in people under the age of 50. What we eat should heal us. So I'm going to be going over a lot of things. And so I want you to take a minute to get your pen and paper ready, because it's detrimental to us, to our soul. I mean, wow. It looks like the devil's winning this battle, but we know through God we have the victory. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And if you have a problem with that, someone let me know. You can't see anything, and we're going to get started. How food is killing us, the shocking facts. That told you a little bit about myself. So we did a little we started doing research into the food situation when we noticed that people started, again, dying just around us at such a young age. When my wife and myself came into the Seventh-day Adventist ministry, what a blessing it was for us. As we started to learn better, we started to do better. When we pulled away from meat, stopped eating meat, stopped eating dairy, cut back on those things that we knew we should not be eating, just let those, let chocolate go, let those things go. My weight dropped tremendously. I was a 38-40. I'm back down to a 32. I tell everybody I now have my boyish figure back. So I'm down to a 32. So people who have not seen me for a while says, you're skinny. I'm like, I'm where I used to be. Because those toxins with what we eat builds up in our bodies, and it causes the disease. If you look at horses, if you look at cows and oxen, they eat no meat, but they're strong. Matter of fact, you hear the term strong as an ox. So why do we have to eat these things? The chemical that they use to make their food last longer for those animals, the preservatives or the chemicals they put in the alfalfa or that they put in the hay that they feed the animals as pesticides, those things linger into the meats that we eat, and they get into our bodies. Our bodies don't know how to assimilate those things, and they become toxic and poison to us. And we need to learn from that. The Bible tells us, that we're originally plant-based. So was the animals, as you start to read the scripture. So I'm going to get into this, and then I'm going to kind of jump and shock you with some of the newer findings that I have. And you'll be able to share these. And that's the only thing I ever ask you to do is please share this with others. So the 3 R's of healing: remove things from our diet that we now know that's inappropriate, that's not proper, that's killing us, that's harmful. Remove it from your diet. We're bigger than a 3-piece of chicken. We're bigger than a 6-piece or 8-piece wing dinner. We're bigger than that. We're bigger than fish with the forever chemical in it that's targeting our bodies, with meat products and things that's attacking our kidneys and our liver. We're bigger than that. We can walk away from soul food or other foods that we know is harmful to us. And we can, just simply repair or repair our bodies and prepare our own foods and our own meals. So we want to remove these bad things from our diet. We want to replace them with wholesome foods. I'm even going to go over a list with you in a little bit that's going to, and I didn't have this for you last time, that's going to show you how to do a rapid repair on your kidneys and how to help you out. So I got a list for you for that. That's going to be a great treat for you tonight. So we want to remove, replace, and repair. Remove inflammatory foods, the habits, and then the triggers, and replace the harmful foods with helpful foods and repair our digestive system. These are things that we must be ready to get into. Hidden dangers in our daily diet. Classic signs of inflammatory is redness, heat, pain, and swelling. Oh, my stomach's hurting. Oh, I'm hot all the time. My head's hurting, all kinds of different things. That tells you there is an issue going on with your body. Pain is just like someone knocking on your door. Who is it? And you want to go and look and let them in. That's pain. That's what pain is doing. Pain is saying, "Hey, I'm here. Help me out." So you want to identify that pain, see where that's coming from. Is that something you need to address immediately? Inflammatory foods. Nurses Health study higher inflammation markers associated with sugar, sweetened soft drinks, refined grains, diet soft drinks, processed meats, lower inflammatory markers associated with cruciferous vegetables, colored vegetables. Back in the early 1900s, 1920, 1925, a lot of the issues that we face in today, we didn't have. One of the main issues we got is added sugar, extra sugar. Well, that didn't exist too much back before then. Sugar did exist, but the way we were eating food, we were simply taking them out of the ground, taking them into the house, preparing them and eating them. So now they came along with all the new product where they add extra sugars and all this and modified sugars and then different things to replace the sugars. And those things are starting to harm our body because it's not something that we were originally designed to eat. So it becomes a danger to us. As we look at everything, all this stuff looks good. I mean, if you look at the picture, you can see that picture on the screen, that it looks delicious. Unfortunately, there's lots of dyes and colors and artificial things in there that simply don't agree with your body. Artificial sweeteners, sugar substitutes that are often used in diet foods and beverages. Not good. Despite, they'll tell you 0 calories. Yeah, it's a 0 calorie because it's not real. And then when the body knows it's not real, what does it do? The body tries to expel it, but it can't. Sometimes it doesn't know how because of the chemical makeup of these substances. And so it goes directly into attacking your immune system, or goes directly into attacking and weakening your kidneys, your heart, your mind. Lots of things are there that we need to be concerned about. So we're going to deal directly, as we start to identify these, we're going to deal directly with these. A lot of things. Glutamate is the main expiratory stuff that attacks the central nervous system. Things we don't need to eat. Things that are not good for us. Names to look out for in foods. I'm going to give you some names to look out for. I'm going to give you some other things to watch out for as you start to read what's on your ingredients. When you're in the grocery store the very next time, take your time. Take a little notepad with you. Got a little notepad here. Take a little notepad with you in the store and read what you would normally buy and write those things down. When you get back home, especially if it's something you can't pronounce, and you're going to see words on here I still struggle to pronounce. Take your time when you get back home, look those items up, Google them, you look them up, and find out what they are and where they come from. And you will be shocked at what you've been eating, and then you'll know why. You'll know why you have that belly, or some people call it a tire, that doesn't want to leave. Some people have a their belly Dunlapped over to the belt buckle that doesn't want to leave. I was guilty of those things until I found out we need to eat better. And then I found out what's in these things that we do eat. Glutamate, textural protein, monosodium or monosodium. I mean, there's going to be names there that you're going to see, hydrogenized proteins, glutamate acid, yeast extract, calcium and sodium caseinate, aspartame, and then natural flavors. When it says natural flavors on an ingredient level, ingredient label, natural flavors are not what you think they are. They're from bugs. They're from bugs. They're from bugs. A lot of ingredients now, it comes off as natural flavors. There's over 2,000 ingredients added to our food yearly. The government is only required, the FDA is only required to check 20. So we're ingesting things that the government doesn't even know about, don't even know what they are, and the FDA have no idea on how to even tell what they are. So when it says natural flavors, that's a substance that comes from bugs. Yes, they are developing crickets and other types of things that they get food products from that they're forcing on you to eat. Also, there is a red dye, the dye that's in your Skittles, that's in your certain candies and things that you eat, that comes from bugs, that comes from the cactus plant. They'll take the cacti and they hang them up in a shed and they form this white, like moldish mildew on them. Those are bugs, and they scrape all that off. And as they start to crush and process that, the blood chemical structure turns red. That's where your red dye comes from, that's in the food product you eat. Yucky. And we wonder why, we wonder why we sick. So we need to be aware of those things. Isaiah 55:2. Wherefore do ye spend money for that which is not bread, and your labor for that which satisfies not? Hearken diligently unto me, and eat ye that which is good, and let your soul delight itself in fatness. I'm going to read to you, I'm going to go past a little bit of this, and I'm going to read to you some chemicals, some things that's in food right now that I didn't have for you last time. It's going to shock you a little bit, and I want you to kind of pay attention to this, okay? Toxic chemicals that's in our food that's causing cancer, that's causing kidney issues, that's causing brain disease, and I want to say much worse, and more diseases. There's a whole lot of things that's going on. You already know, if you're not a meat eater, you already know that hot dogs are something that's not good for you. But the way a hot dog is prepared, it's important for you to know these things that I'm getting ready to tell you. Each hot dog takes 36 minutes off a healthy person's life. So what hot dogs are is the scrap from beef, pork, chicken, liver, whatever's left. It's the scrap from that that's grind up into a slurry or a slush, just a slurry. And then chemicals are added to that, and then something called nitrosite that's added to that, and then they're packed into a skin, put into a smoker, hung up and put into a smoker, and we ingest those as food. Nitrosite is determined to cause cancer. Nitrosite is what keeps your cold cuts, your processed meats, pink. So when you walk to a deli counter, everything you usually see in a deli counter is already cooked. Give me 4 pounds of that ham. Give me 2 pounds of that turkey. Give me some of that beef over there. Give me some of that. And you see the pinkish color there. Well, that's because of nitrosite. It's a chemical causing substance. When the food is cooked, technically, it should turn brown. It should turn brown because it's been cooked. The company that owns Oscar Mayer, which is one of your leading companies of processed meats, is also the same company that owns a cigarette company called Philip Morris. Philip Morris has 9 carcinogens or toxics in cigarettes that kill you. Cigarettes will kill you. If you turn it into a liquid and gave it to somebody to drink, they charge you with attempted murder. But yet they put nitrosite in this meat, and this overprocessed meat, your bologna, your Spam, your hot dogs, your salami, all these meats that are simply not good for you. It's deadly. It's killing you. Nitrosite causes cancer. Look that up. So not only is hot dogs bad for you, they cause heart disease, and have sorbitol in them, other chemicals that causes the kidneys to go bad. So these things are out there. So hot dogs take 36 minutes off of life. One that's going to shock you is orange juice. Not the most shocking thing you're going to hear tonight is orange juice. The reason why orange juice made it on my list, if you look at orange juice, when it's processed, has all the oxygen taken out of it so that it can last a long time on the shelf. What you did not know, that when oxygen is taken out of orange juice, so goes the flavor. The flavor's taken out. So artificial flavors are put into orange juice. If your orange juice is not freshly squeezed by you, you're not getting wholesome orange juice. You're getting the chemicals that causes kidney disease into your orange juice. And then look at one more thing. They sell orange juice around the world 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. But it only grows in certain parts of the world or the country. Not enough oranges to go around. Orange juice is not healthy unless it's squeezed. It made it to the list for the chemicals that is in it. Shocker. Here comes one for you. It's your favorite food, ice cream. We know about dairy products being bad because of some of the things that they give cows to make the cows grow faster, get bigger, so that they can, give out better production. But did you know ice cream had something in it called antifreeze? Yes, antifreeze. The same antifreeze that you use for your car. Here, I'll give you a little history. Back in 1926, they used ethylene glycol. Ethylene glycol, we know that as an antifreeze because we use it in our cars today. We allow it allows the car to only heat up so much and it doesn't start to boil. So your car doesn't overheat. It allows the car to get so cold, but it doesn't freeze. So your car, your water pump, everything doesn't burst. How come ice cream going into the freezer, coming out of the freezer, is not as hard as, say, a cup of water or Kool-Aid or a popsicle or something that you've frozen? It's because it uses something when they thought they'd come up with something different because people didn't like the name of ethylene glycol, so they came up with propylene glycol. Propylene glycol is added to your ice cream so that you're able to scoop it out. So next time you go to an ice cream shop and you see how easy it is to scoop that ice cream out, and it's in the freezer, you'll see it'll never melt until you take it out of the freezer. But why is it that it doesn't freeze solid? Propylene glycol. So you do have antifreeze in your ice cream. That's another reason we stay away from dairy. Ice cream is on the list. Oh, I got some goodies for you. Oh, listen to this. Now, we all enjoy burgers. We all enjoy chips. We all enjoy these certain things. But hamburgers have so much sodium in it. Sodium today, if you notice today in your communities, it almost doesn't matter where you live. There's a lot more of the places for kidney dialysis. You're going to see a lot more places for kidney dialysis. You're also going to start to see a lot more cancer centers around. So what we need to do is recognize, again, more of what we eat and be responsible for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate this just a little bit. So these things that I'm telling you right now, make a note of. They're not in this particular PowerPoint. These are just some extras I put to you. And then I'm going to go to or your benzene, all your high fructose corn syrups and all that. But burgers have such a high sodium that the sodium alone is affecting our kidneys. It's affecting our blood pressure. This is the extra stuff I told you I had for you. It's affecting our blood pressure. It's affecting our heads with headaches. It's affecting us. It's killing us. We need to be aware of our sodium intake. Okay, these are some extras. I'm going to come back to a few more of these. Right now, I'm going to get back onto my PowerPoint presentation. But artificial colors like blue dye number 1, yellow dye number 5, yellow dye number 6, red 40. You've heard these before. These things are linked to cancer. A lot of this stuff that I'm going to tell you about now is banned in other countries. They are not allowed to use them in other countries. You'll get some things. If you ever go to California on vacation, you'll see on the menus or at restaurants or on the hotel menus, they'll tell you some things may cause cancer. They give you a warning about any kind of product that you use on their facility so that they're not liable. So a lot of things that I'm going to be showing you are banned some places in this country, and yet they still have us ingest that. So you got a lot of things with things that affect our children. Some things don't affect us as much, even as they affect our children, and with their pancreas, with their kidneys, with their liver. And we have young children now developing cancer, developing tumors, having headaches, having seizures, who was otherwise healthy. So the things we eat are really bothering us. Here's a good word for you. T. Butyrothioconazole. I'm going to let you all pronounce that, but TBHQ for short, is a synthetic antioxidant. It's primarily used to prevent food from spoiling. While it is approved by the FDA, some scientists have claimed that this could potentially increase the risk of cancer. Anytime they give you something that is meant to preserve the food, you can believe it's not going to be from God. It's going to be something that causes a disease to the body. When you read the Bible, it tells you, even if you eat meat, when you were able to eat meat, or back in the day when we ate meat, or he said you could eat meat, the Bible, God also told you how to clean that meat and how to kill that meat. that it shouldn't be strangled, and the blood should be what should be done with the kidney and the liver and the fat and all that. And then that meat should be consumed within 3 days. Now you'll see meat, you have no idea how long it's been in the store or how long it's been on the shelf. And then what do? They wash it off. I distinctly remember hearing a case of Food Lion. Food Lion was a big food store in the South, where they would take fish that's been on display for a while, wash it with bleach because it builds up a slime, and they would put it back, wrap it, and put it back in the display. So we don't know what we're ingesting, and these stores do not want to lose money, so they'll do anything to keep that going. High fructose corn syrup. This is a sweetener that is manufactured from corn starch, and sourced from genetically modified crops. Well, what's up with a genetically modified crop? What happened, the same thing what happened with wheat is back in 1950, scientists got a hold of wheat. They wanted to get more bang per buck. They wanted to get more per bushel. So they broke it down, opened it up, and found a way to get more wheat per bushel. However, then came gluten. Gluten started to react to the body and cause different issues and/or disease. Same thing happened with the corn. They started to modify the corn. And now when you eat things that's made from these types of corns, you got Monsanto, you got corn that's Roundup ready. My wife and I, we farm. We have a 40-acre farm. And you can't replant. Well, we don't use Monsanto corn or Roundup ready corn, but you can't replant their corn. One of the gentlemen that tills my land, that works my land for me, tells me you can't replant their corn. And sure enough, under contract, you have to sign a contract that you won't replant their corn. Reason why, it's sterile. It's not something you can replant. We have corn from the 1800s, open pollinated, never treated, that type of corn that produces and grows, and you can replant that type of corn. So the things that so then they go and they make a sugar from this corn that's been genetically modified. They make a sweetener from that, and we wonder why we're sick. It is a cancer-causing product. High amounts of sugar. Before purchasing candy or other sweet treats like donuts, try to remember to check the sugar content of these products. Many candy bars contain exorbitant amounts of sugar, which can contribute to weight gain, tiredness, and long-term health issues. A lot of people don't contribute being tired all the time to something sweet that you ate. And the reason you don't do that because it tastes so good. You can just sit there and continue to eat and continue to eat and continue to eat. But there's an effect that it has on your body. First of all, your body produces X amount of sugars and all kinds of things, and then your body can only eliminate so much of sugar at a time. So when you do an overabundance, or if you overindulge in something, not only are you piling on the calories and you find it harder and harder for you to get up because you're picking up a few pounds, but it also has a total effect on your mind, your body, your health, your kidneys, and everything. So we have to start to literally almost count our sugar intake. And I'm guilty of that. You know, we have to count our sugar intake. We have to count our sodium intake. We just can't continue to eat and eat and eat and eat. We have to start to drink a reasonable amount of water. That has changed from various protocols throughout the years. But we need to be putting down quite a bit of water a day, if all possible. And you can put down a gallon of water a day. Do everything you can. And actually, you should put down a little bit more, but do everything you can to do that in small quantities. Even before you're thirsty, just recognize it's been an hour. It's been an hour and a half since I had a cup of water. It's been 2 hours since I had a cup of water. Just go ahead and take another cup of water. These things allow us to stay hydrated, this water, and then it also allows our body to work to cleanse everything out. If there's not enough water for the body to get in there and clear out all this sugar or to clear out all this sodium, it starts to take the moisture from other areas and your skin starts to suck in. You look dehydrated, you look dried out. Drink water, rehydrate yourself, get the kidneys flushed. The kidneys are struggling to get the tools they need to do the job. We're responsible for getting the kidneys, the liver, the heart, the lungs, the things they need to keep the body working on the inside. The Bible is our owner's manual, just like when you buy a car, and it specifically lays out the things we need to get things flowing in our life to keep things going. And it tells us we're plant-based. If I bought a brand new car and I get thirsty and I like something sweet to drink, well, I think my car does too. So I give my car 4 gallons of Kool-Aid in the oil tank, or where the oil goes, or even where the gas goes. And then all of a sudden I'm driving down the highway and it's not working. I'm taking that car right back to that dealer because I just bought that car. I put Kool-Aid in my car. It makes me feel good. My car's not working. He's like, no, 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 no. Read your owner's manual. We're no longer responsible for that. You just voided your warranty. Same thing with the body. If you put things in there that makes it bad or doesn't make it work right, you went against the warranty. You went against your manual, the Bible. The Bible tells us what we eat, what we should eat, and what we should eat should heal us, not kill us. It should heal us. Okay. All right. Polysorbate 60. You probably heard of polysorbate 60, polysorbate 80, an artificial thickener that is used in baked goods like donuts, bread, and croissants. I'm going to give you something else right now that's going to shock you. If I'm going too fast, someone let me know because I want to get a lot out in a little bit of time. I'm going to give you something else that's going to shock you. Bread. Why did bread make my list? Bread made my list because there's a place, there's a chemical here. Let me actually get it for you because I want you guys to know how awesome God is for us. Here, let's see. I got something for you. Packaged bread companies use L-cysteine. L-cysteine is Cysteine. L-cysteine. Cysteine is it gives bread a structural support so bread lasts longer. But do you know where this chemical comes from? It comes from hair. The same chemical is used to support hair's health, skin, and nails. They use it now to extend the life and to flavor bread. It's an amino acid, and it's synthesized from hair, from human hair. Yes, it is. So this hair is literally swept up off the floor in China. This hair is taken to a factory and they synthesize this hair and they turn it into a chemical. And because hair basically comes from keratin, the same stuff that makes up your nails and all that stuff. So it's synthesized into amino acid and it's put into your food to make your bread last longer. So you're actually eating hair. Your bread from the store is not healthy. Your bread should come from a fresh bakery, a bakery that you know, because usually their flour doesn't contain this amino acid or this particular chemical, or you should be baking your own. Bread from your grocery stores that's packaged up hair. What a shocker. They synthesize this hair down into this particular product and we're eating it. The product to look out for is L, and you probably won't see this on the ingredients, L-cysteine. Wow, bread. Our bread is killing us. And that's not on this. I just wanted you to see that when we started talking about bread and donuts, croissants, and things like that, they have chemicals and things in them that's not healthy. So now you know where these items are coming from. Well, what can we eat? We'll talk about that later. You can continue to eat continue to eat things that are healthy, but you don't want to continue to eat things that are going to make you sick and cause cancer. I've seen situations where people found out they had cancer because they smoked. Instantly, they stopped smoking. But when somebody told you 5-10 years ago that cigarettes cause cancer, you continue to smoke. Same thing when people find out they got cancer, now they want to eat healthy. Okay, you kind of want to start to do that now so that you can back things up and let your body have an opportunity to start to heal, so that you can just simply sit back and enjoy life and worship God. Let's scroll on down here. Here we go. Kamaba wax. This is a chemical used to give longevity to bubble gum. Got something for you here about bubble gum. Bubble gum is not, and I'm going to say it again, bubble gum is not a food product anymore. The only food additive that's in bubble gum is the sweet flavor, and that's not good. Bubble gum is now rubber and plastic. Bubble gum is now rubber and plastic. Once the sweet taste is gone, chew it and recognize it. You're going to be like, that ain't right. When mom used to say back in the day you couldn't swallow bubble gum, it'd stick to your intestines for years and years. That's not true. It does come out in your poop a couple of days later. It does come out. However, it's not good for the body. The only thing that's in chewing gum that's recognizable is the flavors, and the flavors, as we know, are what? Artificial. Bubble gum itself now is made from plastic and wax. Bubble gum is now a plastic and wax. So when your kids ask for it, pass on it. Find something healthier for them to chew on, because they're simply chewing on the good chemicals, and then they're stuck with that plastic and or wax that gum is now made from. I remember gum used to come from the gum tree. There used to be trees, but because the fact that, excuse me, they sell more bubble gum than they can, than they can process from trees, they switched to alternatives as they did with everything else. So it comes from, so bubble gum now is wax and plastic. Okay, sucrose. While sucrose is often marked as a healthier alternative to sugar, they'll tell you that sucrose is a healthy alternative to sugar, but we do know it's not. We don't control the television advertisement and the way they market things, but we do listen to what they say, and they try to make us believe that everything is healthy. It's not until later that we find out these things aren't very good. So it says, why it's marked as a healthier alternative to sugar, you should be aware of the dangers of consuming too much. Increased intake of sucrose is associated with shrinkage of the thymus gland and swelling of the kidneys and liver. Shrinkage of the thymus gland and swelling of the kidneys and liver. It is important that you read what you eat. There are tons and tons and tons of alternatives. There are tons and tons and tons of ways to get past all of this. You don't have to go down that same road. There's tons of ways to eat. That's always been there in the beginning. There's cultures, different cultures that's never eaten meat, that's never eaten anything that they didn't produce themselves, and they're healthy and they live very long. They're not big people either. They're healthy and they live very long. BHT, BHA, if you look these up, these things are related to preserving that are primary use to extend the shelf life of candies and other foods. In recent years have been linked to the growth of cancerous tumors. BHT and BHA, first of all, something caused that cancerous tumor. These items help them to grow, help those tumors to increase into your body. So you probably once a week or once a month, you're probably going to hear about, and I just hear of it quite often, somebody having a golf ball sized tumor removed from their head or from their breast or from their back or their bodies or their thighs or their kidneys or their lungs. These tumors now start to grow all over the body because the chemicals that they eat is kind of rewriting our body, redesigning the way our bodies do things. And then our bodies don't expel a lot of the stuff because we simply don't eat healthy. So we don't do the things to kick these things out. So our body kind of want to take us to eviction court and tell the judge, he's not doing what it takes for me to evict these things out of my body. So you need to give these chemicals that's in your body a 1-day notice, not a 5-day notice, not a 30-day notice. And you need to tell these chemicals, you're out of my body as of right now, or as of tomorrow, I'm doing better. Because we have to get these things out of our body. Aspartame, another sweetener. Another sweetener is known to cause headaches, dizziness, stomach problems, blurred vision, and also can be carcinogenic. A carcinogen or carcinogenic cancer. Cancer. Aspartame used to be in they put it in like all the Wrigley's gum, the Wrigley Spearmint, Juicy Fruit, Double Mint, all those, and it started coming in other flavors of gum. Remember, a lot of gums now is not gum anymore, it's plastic and wax. And they put these artificial sweeteners in there. The artificial sweeteners causes cancer. So you'll see a lot of that. Sodium nitrate. Sodium nitrate is often added to processed foods. Nitrate and nitrosite. Remember, we talked about nitrosite. Added to processed foods to prevent the growth of bacteria. It has been linked to cancer in humans and considered one of the most harmful food additives. But yet it's not banned. It's not banned in this country. There are other countries that do not allow this product in food. And the countries that do not allow it has no case of colorectal cancer. We are number 2 in the colorectal cancer number. China is number 1. And the only reason China has more colorectal cancer than us is because it's reported they have more colorectal cancer death than we do. But we really have the highest number in colorectal cancer because of these products, the nitrosite, the processed meats, and all the chemicals that we eat. Check your history, guys. It doesn't tell you have to be a genius to do your research and do your studies, and you'll find a lot of this out. It's just shocking where we are. Here we go. Naturally occurring in the gut, low levels associated with here. Let's back this up a little. Let's raise this up a little bit here. There we go. Naturally occurring in the gut, low levels of associated with systematic inflammation when it gets to the blood, leaky gut, higher LPS levels in the blood associated with numbers of diseases, liver disease, oh boy, Not good. Look at all the diseases: chronic inflammation, obesity, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, congenitive impairment, fevers. Look at the animal product that's causing these things: meat, pork, poultry, dairy, chocolate, bone broth. Oh man, fermented foods. Worcestershire sauce. Another thing that's not on your list, it's on my list. I didn't put it on here. I wanted to shock you with a few things. You know, we know that ketchup is bad because it has it may look like it has a lot of tomato in it. It doesn't. It doesn't. There are other chemicals and things added to ketchup. For instance, they use papaya and they use a whole bunch of other things to make it meaty, and then they use coloring to give it that color. So your ketchup, and then it has the vinegar in there that's bad for the teeth and bones. But that ketchup is not what you think it is as well. So, but specifically Worcestershire sauce. People were eating Worcestershire. Some people now get Worcestershire or Worcestershire sauce and all that kind of fun stuff. And they use it to put on their meats and mix it with things to marinate, things like that. Well, that's made from fish. Worcestershire sauce, they take fish and they take vinegar and they ferment it for a year, 1 year. And then they add all the spices and all the goodies to it, and you get Worcestershire sauce. Something that is not good for the body. High levels of sodium. You know, the fish contains a lot of the forever chemical. They contain lots of mercury. We're going to talk about that a little bit too as well, because we're going to talk about the fish that people love. And what's the fish people love? Tuna fish. Tunas have high levels of mercury because the tunas eat the smaller fish. A lot of mercury comes in the water from the smaller fish because you got the volcanoes under the earth that people don't tell you about. Plus, you have a lot of the companies polluting the water and adding mercury. Mercury comes from the underground volcanoes as well, where the fish eating whatever they eat, and then the tuna lives on smaller fish. So the tuna always have a high level of mercury content. They know this, but still, it's such a profitable business. That's why we have to be aware of what we eat. Plus, now it's been proven that all fish have the forever chemical because the water has reached a point where, and the Bible told us about this as it was in the beginning, you'll see all the diseases and things start to come back. The water has reached a point when that chemical cannot be taken out. So when the Bible teaches us that we need to have our own land, and we need to have water on our land, food on our land, we put our own wells in, and God cleanses our water. So be aware of all this stuff that's causing these diseases. Let's read Leviticus 7:23, please. Speak to the children of Israel, saying, you shall not eat any fat of oxen, sheep, or goats. We don't eat the fat. Oh man, I gotta fry this in some lard, some cooking grease. This is gonna be good. These pork chops, man, listen, we fried chitlins. But no. We have to turn from those things. When we know better, we do better. When we know better, we do better. But we have to tell others because, again, the chemical makeup of these things don't go back into our body, doesn't belong into our body. It causes our body to go awry. Like a robot that's just simply out of control. It does what it wants to do. Well, you're trying to go one way, but you don't have the strength to get there because your body's trying to go lay down. You don't have the strength to do it. So we need to eat proper, get our energy back, flush our bodies out, get things going. Okay. So I just want you to be aware of a whole bunch of things that's going on here that we have to take charge of. We have to take charge of. The silent killer, trans fats, and the worst fats you can eat. Trans fats are harmful. They're monstrous to us. A lot of things have trans fats. And you're going to talk about some oils that are good and some that's bad, but no nutritional benefits to trans fats at all. Zero. You'll find them in certain potato chips, and you'll find them in all kinds of things. It's just no amount is safe. High intake of trans fats increase the risk of death for any cause by 34%. So you also hear a lot of people just simply dropping dead. Trans fats, all of a sudden you had a heart attack, you're gone, just like that. There's a gentleman that I work with right now, a great friend of mine actually at work. We share an office. But there's a video the year before I started there. He was walking in the warehouse and it's on video and he just dropped dead. He died on the floor. He died. He did die. We share an office today, but he's not a ghost. So what happened is somebody ran and they got this resuscitator machine and they resuscitated him back twice or just kept pumping it until the paramedics got there, got him to the hospital. He was still dead, but they kept pumping his heart, keeping it going. And 7 more times he coded at the hospital, and he stayed in the hospital for a long time and he came back, got back up and walked. trans fats. Chemicals just kill you. You just drop dead. If it wasn't for the automatic defibrillator machine that we had there, Pete wouldn't be with us today. But there are young people all over the place now. Just check your history, check your news. Dropping dead, dropping dead, dropping dead. And then tumors. We talked about those things. When the stuff that we're getting trans fat through and from, we don't know where it comes from. The animals that they're feeding us and that they're making a lot of these oils and things from are already sick and or cancerous. And then they just simply grind those up into hot dogs and burgers and give them to us. So we got to be aware. But coronary disease by 28%. So trans fats are not good for you. It's a toxic ingredient. Healthier options without adding cost or changing your flavor. Olive oil. But real olive oil. You have to check the ingredients. You have to know and then do research on the company, because they will lie on a label and say 100% olive oil or from 100% olive oil. If it says from 100% olive oil, it doesn't mean it's 100% olive oil, because they took some from that and added 99.9% of something else. So some from 100% olive oil. You got to be careful with what you read. Make sure it's 100% olive oil. Okay, other than that, you can end up with a lot of fake oils that's been colored with dyes and chemicals, and a lot of it is from animals. And then we didn't use a lot of oils that the chemical companies now have us using, of Standard Oil, and a lot of those companies have produced a lot of cooking oils based off seeds and nuts and things that they thought, they thought it'd be a great idea for them to use. And so we're eating a lot of oils that should not be good for us. So coconut oil, avocado oil, these are oils that you can eat, but you also need to be aware of the risk. By being aware of the risks associated with consumable trans fats, we can make informative dietary choices that prioritize our health and our well-being. So we need to be aware of what we're eating and what we're intaking, okay? Processed foods, staple modern diet. All right, the truth behind processed foods. Research shows that consuming processed foods, such as those higher in red meat and white flour, can increase the risk of heart disease, white grain, memory loss, impaired brain function. The American Heart Association recommends limiting the intake of processed foods to maintain a healthy diet and reduce the risk of chronic disease. We have to be aware. Again, some of the good oils and some of the good things are right there that helps you out with those. I'm going to give you a list real quick. I'm going to jump over to some good things, but we got more to talk about here that I didn't put in here that I wanted to save as a surprise for you. So we do know packaged meats and all that contain bad stuff, but I'm going to give you a list of some good stuff that'll help you out real quick. But before I do that, I'm going to read to you two more of these. Remember I told you I was going to give you some shockers. Actually, there are going to be three more. One is vanilla extract, artificial vanilla extract. Vanilla extract, by the way, is bark from a tree. That's what vanilla extract is. So if you see vanilla extract, I'm sorry, it should come from the vanilla bean. It should come from the vanilla bean of vanilla extract, but it doesn't. They want you to think that there's these vanilla pods and all this kind of fun stuff, and they used to make it from the bean. They can't produce enough, so they came up with an artificial vanilla extract. And that vanilla extract, people, not from a pot at all, but it's from a consortium of different chemicals and all that kind of fun stuff that gives you that vanilla smell, right? You eat that, you say, wait a minute, that's pretty good. What if I told you that vanilla extract came from a beaver? Not just from a beaver, but from a beaver's poop. Yes, there's the beaver has a gland right at his anal gland produces this particular chemical that they use to mark their territories with, and it's brown and mushy, and it has a bad little smell to it, and they use that for vanilla extract. So there's this little gland from the beaver, check it out, and it produces this castor. They uses this castor sac, and this castor sac produces all this silk. And they use that to make your vanilla extract. So vanilla extract is from a beaver's poop. Check it out. You're not going to like vanilla extract anymore. Make sure that your vanilla extract is originally from vanilla beans. It's going to cost a whole lot more money than what you see in the store. The $2, $3, $4, $5 stuff is not real vanilla extract. And if it says artificial and all that kind of fun stuff, now you know it comes from the castor glands of a beaver. It's beaver poop. Cinnamon. Cinnamon comes from the bark of the tree. That's what I was going to tell you. And you see the cinnamon sticks rolled up. If you can see the cinnamon sticks rolled up, that's the cinnamon you use. When you're using ground cinnamon, it has been determined by the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, that it has 400 or more insect parts per 50 grams. So ground cinnamon has over 400 or more insect parts per 50 grams, ground up cinnamon. Okay, and then one more, and then I'm gonna go with some good stuff that kills you, that I don't want you to write down because I didn't put them in this presentation. And I think you need to know these. Green tea, how many people enjoy green tea? Okay, so the green tea is from, remember we talked about the castor sac of the beaver? Green tea, the good stuff, the stuff you pay that money for, is from the extract or from the poop of the panda bear. The panda bear eats, okay, panda bears are very, very, very rare. First of all, you see them in China, they're very rare. And they eat bamboo. Bamboo is very rare, but it's rich in things that help fight cancer and help do all this. So when the bamboo eats, excuse me, when the bamboo eats this bamboo, or when the panda bear eats this bamboo, he only processes about 30% of it. The rest, the other 70% comes out in the poop, right? So they grab all that, all the poop, and the 70% that came out in the poop, and they take that and they dry it and they grind it up, mix some ingredients with it, and that's where your green tea comes from, because it's healthier, so they say. So your green tea is from panda poop, where the panda ate bamboo shoots, yep, and only processed 30% of it in his body. So the 70% that he didn't process, because it went through his body, it made it healthier for you to ingest. Something don't sound right. So read your green tea, read your labels, know where your green tea came from. And that's expensive green tea. Okay? All right, gotcha. All right, now let's get back to this, and then I got some purifying things for you that's going to be outstanding. So we know the truth behind processed foods. So we know that it's not good for us. We know that it basically kills us. So we want to be aware of what we process. And if you go to this website that you see here, and cured or processed meats such as bacon, sausage, hot dogs, ham, as well as deli meats such as chicken, turkey, roast beef, and salami, often there's the nitricides or the nitrates that I told you about, often contain added nitrates and nitricides. It's there. These compounds grow harmful bacteria, and they give you flavor. You think they taste good, you get that salty, that seasoned flavor, but they make the meat continue to remain red and or pink. Okay, this stuff causes cancer. It causes cancer. It's not allowed in other countries, okay? Some countries, it's just completely banned, but it's in all of our main grocery stores, okay? So we have you want to bring in healthy fruit and stuff that helps you heal. So real quick, I'm gonna give you some of those. Let me know when I'm getting close to time. I'm gonna go through some of these really quick, and I want you to write these down. These are things that's going to be key for you to do something that's called a quick purified kidney flush. Okay, you want to purify your kidneys really, really quick. So I'm going to give you some goodies that's not on my list from this presentation. The first one is watermelon. Watermelon is a great antioxidant. It's also a great detoxer, and it's extra water that you add to your body. So eat watermelon, and it helps to detox your kidneys immediately, because it's a great antioxidant and a detoxer, extra water, and it helps flush things out. Watermelon is good for you. Cranberries. Cranberries are awesome for you. Cranberries help the urine tract. Cranberries help you urinate, which also helps the kidneys and everything function much well. Cranberries also antioxidants. They fight off infection. They do all kinds of goodies. So cranberries are your friend. So a real 100% cranberry juice, or the actual cranberries where you can grind them up and juice them, is good for you. It helps everything out right away. It helps to flush your kidneys immediately to rejuvenate your kidneys. So you got watermelon, cranberries, cucumbers and broccoli. I'm sorry, cauliflower and broccoli. Cauliflower and broccoli are packed with vitamin C, right? They also got healthy essential nutrients and things in there that also helps with the fiber and everything, and the antioxidants to also help purify your kidneys. Get all that stuff up out of there. Kidneys and liver, it's helping them out. It's helping them out. These are super ways of purifying your kidneys really, 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 really fast. So if you jumped on these things, they're good to go. And then all of your greens have excellent nutrition factors with all the vitamins and everything that's in there. And then your turnip, your mustard, all these things, they help you out big time. You got folate, fiber, you got fibers, you got VK, you got all kind, vitamin K, vitamin C, you got all kinds of things in there. But these greens also help your body, and it keeps you so healthy that it ain't funny. It helps with your kidneys, helps with your blood pressure, helps with your blood sugar, helps with get your blood levels just right, keeps your kidneys strong. So all these greens got all the nutrients and vegetables and vitamins and things you need, but it'll flush your kidneys, help flush your kidneys right away. All those nutrients getting in there. Remember, you're doing the watermelon, your proper water, your cauliflower, your broccoli, all your regular greens, your dandelion greens are outstanding because they have extra things in there also that help fight off infections and help keep you clean. So these are things that you can start to eat and enjoy in salads in addition to juicing. So you think you got nothing to eat, you can have a great, awesome, big old bowl of different salads and different things that you can put in there and be aware of that you can eat. That's good for you. But dandelion greens have a great booster. They help the urinate, they help the kidneys flow, cleanse the body, and they drop your blood pressure. So dandelion greens has a bunch of good things in there for you. And then all your garlics, your onions, your scallops, your chives, your leeks. All these things are also good for your kidneys, help to flush everything out really, really, really good. Garlic, onions, shallots, chives, leeks. These are good for your body, okay? You're low on sulfur compounds. They have something called allicin, ALISON. It helps to, and it's organic piece, it helps to just boost everything up and get you going. It gets things cleaned out. So we want to clean those kidneys, get that liver up and get things operating. You got a whole bunch of things here that's going to help you really good. It comes in with a power wash to wash everything out and get the toxics out of your body. There are some mushrooms. People don't like mushrooms because they're a fungus, but there are some mushrooms that's very low in sodium, and they have high in potassium, and they packed with antioxidants, and they got different things in there that also help fight kidney disease, and they have anti-inflammatory properties. So know your mushrooms, check which ones you can eat that are good for you, and don't get caught with the wrong ones, and they're very great. And then you have asparagus, apples, strawberries, grapes, pineapples, and blueberries. All of those are fighting soldiers for your body. I'll go over them again. Asparagus helps with the kidneys immediately. Asparagus, apples detoxify, plus they got your vitamin. Your strawberries, low in potassium, they got plenty of vitamin C. Your grapes are like little soldiers helping everything get going, so you can enjoy them. Do not overdo these items. If you're diabetic or you got sugar issues with grapes, don't just go eat 5,000 pounds of grapes. And in all things, do moderation, please do. And check with, if you got a doctor or somebody you check with, your health consultant, a medical missionary, consult with them on your diet and your change so that you don't go hurting yourself by making rapid changes. But we do rapidly need to change, if that makes sense. Pineapples are good for you, packed with something called brolin, a powerful enzyme in pineapples. It's known for its anti-inflammatory properties. Brolin in your pineapples. That is good for you. Look, bromelain, BROMLIN. Look it up. And then blueberries. We already know blueberries are a true powerhouse for the body, packed with antioxidants. Okay, so those are some goodies that I wanted to get to you guys. Now, before I move any further, I'd like to know how much time I have left and if there's any questions.
Yes, well, you could go until 9 and we will stop for the questions. So you have until 9.
Okay, let me know when I get close because I'm enjoying myself. I hope everybody is.
Yes, yes, everyone is definitely.
Okay, great. Okay, so we talked about the toxins in food. Food toxins can come from pollutants, pesticides, and/or additives. Real quick, let me make you aware of something that I promised Angela I would talk about tonight. You know how they try to get everybody to take the shot with the COVID-19, and a lot of people refuse to take the prick or get the needle, get the shot. Now they're putting it in your lettuce and your tomatoes. And these items have to be kept in the refrigerated section at your store. When did they pass this law? Did you all vote on it? I didn't, but that's what's happening now. That's why you have to stick to what the word says, the Bible says. God knew this would happen. You have to have water on your property. You have to have food on your property. You have to be self-sustaining. You have to grow what you eat. So now they're putting this in your food. They're putting it, and what I heard the doctor say, if you watch Midday Power Surge with Pastor Andrew Henriquez, you guys ever go on YouTube and watch Midday Power Surge, he played that, and the guy was saying, he says, well, how do we know how much to give them or if we give them enough. He said, because when we used it for the cattle, and we did this before with the cattle and put it in cattle food for the bot flies, it didn't help the bot flies. They kept biting. So in other words, they're experimenting on us like they did animals. And they don't know if they're going to give us an overdose of this or if we get or not getting enough, but they're taking these what they call shots and all these things now that we're supposed to be taking, and they're putting it in the food. Not only that, remember I told you that Philip Morris owns Oscar Mayer. Philip Morris is a cigarette company that owns Oscar Mayer. What happened is there's such a big rise now in plant-based meats. Plant-based meats. So people that say, I'm vegan, I'll eat a plant-based meat, or I'll eat a plant-based sausage, or I'll eat a plant-based fish, or plant because I'm vegan, blah, blah, blah. There's such an uptick in the sale of plant-based meats. Philip Morris or Oscar Mayer just announced that they're getting into the plant-based meat business. What's the problem with that? Plant-based meats. Well, they're in the meat business now. And what's in their meat that's toxic? The things that make it look fresh like meat, the things that make it stay pink, the nitrosite, the nitrates, all that stuff. You don't think they'll continue to do that? They will. Leopards don't change their spots. The leopard cannot change its spots. So you have to be aware, even if you're eating something that's plant-based, you got to be sure that it's not something that is over-processed, because you can buy some plant-based ground beef and it has the blood look in it just like it came from a cow. What is that? If it's plant-based, what is that? It's not tomato sauce. What is that? So, and what kind of preservative is that? What makes it last? So you have to be aware if you're eating plant-based meats, and all of your stores sell them. They got plant-based eggs. You already got your almond milk and things like that. You got your not butter. Kraft introduced the not cheese. Now here comes Oscar Mayer with a not dog instead of a hot dog. They call it a not dog. So you have to be aware of what's in these not dogs. And again, as you start to read the labels on all this plant-based meats, you have to, like I said, take your book to the store, write down those names you can't pronounce, come back home, go to Google, use the microphone on Google. Hey, Google, what is blah, 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 blah. Some of the stuff you can't pronounce, but type it in and ask Google what these things are, and let it start to explain to you what these things are. Because remember, the FDA is not required to check. They only are required to check 20 of the ingredients that come out of 200, 2,000 a year, whatever. They're only required to check 20. So we're eating things that is killing us. So we have to be aware of that. So safeguard your health with what you're eating. Genetically modified things you do not want to eat. If it's been genetically modified, it's been engineered for that product. When somebody genetically modifies something, it's for their financial gain. They can't produce enough of it as it grows, or they don't have that much land, or they don't want to do that much work. So they genetically modify it and they engineer it. So a chicken grows up without a beak or without feathers. So it saves time on having to get it processed to get it into McDonald's or into your store. And that genetic modification, that chicken that 2 weeks ago was just an embryo is now in your sandwich just that quick. That same chemical that reared that thing up that fast, you're now biting into because the chemical didn't dissipate. You ate it. So we have to be aware of the things we eat, and it's just not in those. It's in some of the other things that we eat and that we ingest. Even our fruits and vegetables, we have to be aware. Find it out now that they put chemicals in that. Also knowing in advance about the pesticides and things that go on these plants. So when you buy fruit, my wife uses a little dishwashing liquid there, and she washes those grapes and apples and things off, even the banana, washes them off before you even take a chance on eating them and or peeling them. So we have to be aware of that. But we got to get to what we grow, what we eat should heal us. On our site, therearepeople.com, we're currently doing a 10-part series on country living. There are people, THEREARE, people.org. We're doing a 10-part series on living off the land, living in the country, the financial piece of the farming, or other businesses that you can do in the country that doesn't contain to farming if you only got a small piece of land, safety, wealth, health, finance, banking, church, all that on country living. We are laying out the whole piece. So we enter our third part of a 10-part series, and those are available on our site as well to watch those past Zooms. But there's a wealth of information that we give out for you that's going to benefit you with your health, but how to eat to live, even growing in the city. We'll be doing a piece soon on hydroponics, so you can grow in a room in the air. So we'll be doing a piece on that. So please tune into the site and watch what we got going on there. All righty. Toxins. Roundup ready plants that have been modified so that despite being sprayed with the glyphosate, the plant can survive. Roundup ready plants absorb glyphosate, a higher level impacts nutritional availability to the higher levels. So it just results higher levels, but it impacts nutritional availabilities to those. Okay, so what happened here is Roundup is a company that produces chemicals. As you know, there was a big suit for them for the chemical they used to sell called Roundup. They still sell it, Roundup Ready, because people were spraying it at their homes, but wasn't warned to wear a mask or anything like that. And just ingesting a lot of that started to eat people up and cause cancer, cause cancer in their bodies. So this same Roundup, they still sell it, they still use it, but they also sell it for plants and for farms. So they got food that's called Roundup Ready so that you can spray the chemical on your food. It'll kill the weeds behind it. But remember, you sprayed it on your food, or you sprayed it on the ground or on the plants, and your plants are still growing. So there is some Roundup Ready in your plants. That's deadly to your body. So we have to be aware of Roundup Ready plants, Monsanto plants, or anything, again, that's been genetically modified, or these sprays and chemicals that go on your food. So when people say something is organic, you have to be very aware of when they say something is organic. That does not mean they're not spraying anything on it, people. You have to be aware of that. A lot of people can buy the label organic. It takes 3 years for a farm to be certified organic because people have to come and check it to make sure there's no pesticides on it. However, if a guy a field over from you is spraying and the wind brings chemicals over to that area, your food can be affected by it. So we want to make sure something we buy is organic. Not all organic is organic, and not all organic things are good. So be aware that they just have a higher price tag on it on a lot of them, so people can make money. So you pretty much eating at your own risk. What I'm trying to say, if you're not growing it, you shouldn't be eating it. So we want to get into growing a lot more things. Okay. All righty. Some GMO food crops: alfalfa, canola, corn, cotton, papaya, soy, sugar beets, zucchini, yellow summer squash. Animal derivatives, we know about that: meat, eggs, milk, product, agriculture, e.g. honey. Some honey, lots of honey is not original from the bees. Lots of honey has been modified now, and lots of honey have chemicals in that that causes problems. Lots of honey has chemicals in there now that does cause problems. Be aware of that with the honey, okay? Products of agriculture: fish, gelatin, hides, and skins. So a lot of things now genetically modified. Be aware of that. Glyphosate foods, weed killer, okay? Chickpeas and lentils. A lot of this stuff is sprayed on these foods. It's sprayed because it's there to kill the weeds. So you have to be aware. Oatmeal, soy, pea products, beans, cereals, millet, veggies, fruits, nuts, and grains. A lot of these things have this chemical sprayed around them to keep the weeds down. So if you could find out where your food comes from, try to see that. That's why you see a lot of grocery stores now, they'll have 4, 5, or 6 different items from 4 or 5, 6. I mean, they have the same item from 4 or 5 or 6 different vendors. So you get to make your choice on who you want to buy from. You can still take your notebook, write down who the manufacturers are before you buy a lot of that stuff. Come back home, look them up, do your research, do your studies on it. Mostly all of them have websites that you can study from. When you get a lot of stuff that's coming into the country, chances are it's not going to be as preserved as something that was grown here. Because stuff coming into the country, you have no idea how old it is. You'll go buy strawberries, bring them home the very next day, they're mold. You got mold and mildew already in those items: berries, strawberries, blackberries, blueberries, because we don't know the life of those. So we want to check out, make sure our stuff is kind of like herbicide free. Check the herbicides, meaning it will kill most plants. It prevents the plants from making certain proteins that are needed for plant growth. So these chemicals aren't good for the plants, and we're thinking we got that plant is good, we're gonna pig out, we're gonna eat it. It affects us inside. So look at the herbicides and things that's in the plants. So we did talk about all these processed foods, vegan and non-vegan. I'll go over a few more as we start to wind down here. But we got all your lunch meats, again, very bad. A lot of your dairy, very bad. Your margarines, they do make a non-dairy butter. We got a store here called Woodman's. It's a food chain. You guys most familiar with Walmart. I don't know if Walmart sells the plant-based butter, but a lot of other stores do have a plant-based section, and they do have plant-based products, plant-based butters. They have one called Just Egg, which is not from real eggs. It's from different chemical, different things that they use to make it up from veggies. It's plant-based. So check out the label on those things. Also look them up when you're buying plant-based items. Stay away from high fructose corn syrup, your sodas, your ice cream with the antifreeze. Check the labels on these things to see what they are. They'll use different names like natural flavors. Natural flavors does not mean it naturally comes from something wholesome. It naturally comes from bugs. Natural flavors is from bugs. So cinnamon, green tea, monosodium glutamate, Worcestershire sauce, popcorn. I threw a lot of that stuff on there. Popcorn, real quick. Popcorn, what makes popcorn deadly? Yes, there's something that makes popcorn deadly. And let me read that to you. And the reason that popcorn becomes deadly, there's a chemical on the popcorn bag that's used to keep the popcorn fresh, to keep the grease from leaking and the butter from leaking in popcorn. And that chemical it causes a problem when the popcorn heats up and it starts to melt. And then you go to eat that popcorn, you're eating that chemical that stops the oil from coming through, and it gets into your body and it attacks the body. That same chemical is on pizza boxes because it stops all that grease from leaking through. That same chemical is on the wraps they use to wrap some sandwiches because it stops certain stuff from getting into it. But they're called PFC chemicals, and they're on the bags, and they stop the grease from leaking. And it's also on, like I said, on the pizza boxes, the Teflon bags, the sandwich wraps, and other things. PFCs break down into acids called PFOAs. So your PFCs, in the Army, we call that private first class, but not in this case. So your PFCs break down into PFOAs. So look that up, and those cause cancer. So the bag that the microwave popcorn is in, once you heat it up and then you eat that popcorn, that's what makes popcorn deadly. And in some pans that are Teflon that you pop it in, some of those chemicals come off. So you want to be aware how you're doing popcorn, even if you're doing it over open fire on the campfire, what kind of pot you cooking it in, because those PFAs come off, or PFCs come off of there, and they become PFOAs, which causes cancer in the body. And it is happening. You hear about it in the news. Popcorn is deadly. It will kill you. So be aware of that. And I just wanted to share that with you all. And that's why you see a lot of different things on this list. Cancer prevalence increases amongst young adults is up 80% in people under 50. Start telling people to look out for what they eat. Some way or another, we have to make our people aware. So please share this video, share this Zoom. Tell people about this site. Tell people about Leap to Health Ministries. Tell people about There Are People Ministries, that they can help them if they want to be helped, and watch the change in your life. The United States is the country with the highest cancer rate. This comes from a trusted source. Remember, I told you, the United States has a higher cancer rate, but China has the highest death rate from cancer. The most prevalent cancers include breast cancer, prostate cancer, lung cancer, colon and rectal cancer, skin melanoma. See all this stuff that's here? There are websites that you can go to find out about all this research. Now it says Russia has the second highest cancer rate, but China has the highest cancer mortality rate. China does that. The United States is first, Russia's second, but China's first in the highest death rate. Because they don't treat the people with the services and things that we have here in the United States. As bad as our hospitals and doctors are with the insurance, I should say, we still get relatively decent health care. But we have to eat to take care of ourselves, because we don't want to be included in any of this. Imagine having a breast cancer, lung, prostate, colon cancer, stomach cancer. A young man just died of stomach cancer. One of the actors in Hollywood, singers, a country singer, stomach cancer. You hear all this stuff on the news. You imagine your stomach being eaten out because the way you ate things up, or your lungs and your colon and all that thing, it's just a sad thing. So we have to be aware that these things cause cancer, and we have to get about healing ourselves right now. Lowest cancer rates, India, country with the lowest cancer rates. Part of India don't eat meat. Some of them don't eat meat. Some of them worship the cows. Doctors in India are focused on early detections because of cancer found early and is more treatable and less expensive to manage. So do your due diligence, get your checkups. You know, they used to tell you when you're a man, you go over 40, you go get these prostate checks quite often. I tell you when you're a man or a woman over 20, or even as a teenager, get yourself checked out as often as your insurance or your wallet allows you to. Because as soon as you see something start to develop or they see anything off track, sometimes they can just tell from your urine. Sometimes they can just tell from your blood. Jump right on it and start to do preventive maintenance on these things right now and educate yourself. Share these things with your family and with your friends. You know, it's sad to go to a funeral for them, for people that you love. You don't want to do that. But let's stay on that right now. Beyond tobacco use, people, tobacco, the vape pen, none of that, all these things are cancer causing. There's no upside to these items. Coffee has a negative nutrition value. There's no upside to this. And now coffee comes from resources that we don't even know, not just the coffee bean now. They're creating other things that it comes from. Tobacco has all these carcinogens in there that kills people. They have tar. They have tons of things that actually kill people. So we have to manage these things. Women, start to check yourself, start to check your kids. Breast cancer is even appearing in men like you would not believe. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Breast cancer is appearing in men like you would not believe. So we have to be aware when there's knots or lumps or things on our chest or in our breast area. We have to be aware of those things. So start doing your daily checks, weekly checks, monthly checks. If you see anything that's different, look out for it. There's a list of the goodies I gave you. My wife is so awesome, everybody. She put that on there this fast. That's the list of all the good things that'll help you flush out things, purifying your kidneys for you really, really fast. Watermelons, cranberries, cauliflower, broccoli, leafy greens, garlic, onions, shallots, chives, and leeks. Don't put a lot of salt in these items. Don't add a lot of sodium. Don't add a lot of sodium. Eat these things for the health factor. God already made them taste good, but if you must put anything in there, make it really, really minimum. Certain mushrooms, be aware. Asparagus, apples, man, antioxidants in the blueberries. Pineapples got things in there, and grapes that help fight, and strawberries. They got soldiers that actually get in your body and go to work immediately. But all of these go right to work on your kidneys to help your kidneys. So these are things that you could probably, what you should be eating every day anyway. But they go right to work on your kidneys. So some of these you can mix together in smoothies and add a little ice if you want a cool drink, or just keep it just room temperature or whatever it is. But drink it, eat it, drink it down right away. Get it in there with water to help flush things out. Okay. So these things are there. Grow your own food if you can. Eat healthy. Grow your own food. Very important. There's a gentleman that has just over 1 acre. If you Google YouTube, Google farmer with 1 acre of land. He only has a little over 1 acre of land, not 2 acres, not 1.5. He works his land 35 hours a week by himself, and he makes over 6 figures working on 1 acre of land. He's farming on 1 acre of land, and he makes over 6 figures. So not only do he grows enough food so that he and his family can eat healthy, but he grows enough food that he's also making 6 figures on a little over 1 acre of land. So don't question God. Don't question him when he tells you it's time to flee to the mountains. It's time to change our life, right? It's time for us to change our life, change who we are. It's time for us to have water on our property. It's time for us to have resources on our property. It's time for us to make true conversion. It's time for us to help others. It's time for us to do ministry work, missionary work. So when God is telling us now that we must make these changes, okay? So we need to do these things now. In conclusion, remember the 3 R's: remove, replace, and repair. Inflammatory foods tend to be addictive. Donut. Let's get rid of the addiction. Let's kick all these foods that we know is killing us. Just like if you know cigarettes are killing you, cut it loose. Same way with certain foods, certain ice cream, certain dishes. A lot of things you can really make yourself. These issues did not used to exist, okay? And a lot of things, these issues did not used to exist. Eat to avoid toxins and to heal the gut. Very important, gut health, okay? You can contact me. You can contact me, Kevin Fuller, 608-295-6820, 608-295-6820. And our email is info, I-N-F-O, at there are people, ThereArePeople.org. Therearepeople.org, ThereArePeople.org. And you can go to our website at therearepeople.org. So eat healthy. God bless you all so much. I'm so excited that I had this opportunity tonight to share with you. And my beautiful wife, I thank her. I thank God for his goodness. I thank Leap to Health and for you guys allowing me to share this, because it's very, very, very important. And don't forget, we're doing a series on our website, 10-part series that's free. People, these things don't cost you a dime, that we're sharing. We're sharing what God has for us. We're sharing wealth. We're sharing farming, small farms, land, homes, housing, banking information. We putting together a company where we can actually learn how to buy land in a group and have other people move in with you that doesn't have the money, that can work the land, that can work the fields, that's good at carpentry, that's good at sewing, that's good at teaching, that's good at childcare or adult care. And we want to get these families together like Brigham Young did when the Mormons moved to Provo, Utah. The religion was off base, way off base, but their structure remains sound today. Provo, Utah is one of the richest cities. So we as SDA need to manage ourselves and bring ourselves together with banking, with medical care, with food, with medical missionary, where all these kind of things we're going to band together. So we require your help. Get in where you fit in. If you see the opportunity, please contact us. Please contact Andrea. Please contact the Ministry of Health. Please contact Leap to Health, and let's bring everybody together. God bless you all. Thank you so very much. God is just awesome. I turn it back over to you all.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much, Brother Kevin, for such an in-depth study. And I believe this is a study that is well needed, because I saw where you mentioned that people are just dropping like flies, and
yes,
over the years, that is something that I myself have been seeing, and even young people. And every time you hear it, it's a stroke, it's a heart attack, and the things I never saw or heard before, these things are taking place. So I believe this information is power packed. And for those who want to find the recordings, they could just go to our Leap to Health YouTube, and you could find it there. So before we go into our questions and answer, I just want to welcome those who are joining us, because we do have people joining from different countries, even up to Africa and all over the world. So I just want to welcome you, and those over on YouTube, we can't forget our special guest on YouTube. And I want to welcome in a special way Sister Rina Hector in St. Martin. So right now we come to the end, and we will now go to our questions segment. So if there is anyone with a question, now is your time. You could just raise your hands and we will allow you to unmute yourself. If there is anyone with questions, now is the time. Just raise your hands and you could unmute yourself and ask whatever question you would like to ask. Anyone else? Oh, Sister Rina, yes, your hand is up. You could go ahead and ask your question.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to thank the gentleman for a very, very, very well-needed information this evening. I just want to thank God for Brother Shad, who always invite me on this platform. Though my question is that health, I have no problem with health. I'll follow any health principle that it is, because I know the benefits of it. But one thing I struggle with, though, is drinking enough water. I just don't have no appetite to drink water. What are some of the tips you can give me in, like, I know it's good for me, and where I work is a condition so I don't feel for water, and that's my problem. So is any tips, any, info I can get to help me to drink water, please? Thank you.
Can I answer that? Absolutely. I'd love to answer that one. Guess what? There's a whole lot of good things. God is just awesome. Do you know that all of your veggies are water-based? They are. So watermelon, remember we just gave you those good fruits that help the kidney immediately? That was the reason for them, because they're full of water. They're full of water. Here, let me find that. But watermelon, all your greens, your berries, all those things are full of water, and they help you tremendously. But more than that, what you have to want for, you have to want to live, and you have to want to be strong for God. You got to want to live for God. Now, what I mean by that, you know you need water. Do you drive to work?
No, I
Okay.
walk
You walk.
briskly to work.
Okay. Okay. And do
It's
you wear
just
shoes?
about 5 minutes.
Do you wear
Sorry?
shoes? Do you wear shoes to
Yes,
work? You need
yes,
those
I
shoes,
do.
don't you? You know you need those shoes because what's going to happen? You're going to might step on something, correct?
I
The,
know what you're going. Yeah.
you know where I'm going. You know you need water. Now, that's one of the things I said in the very beginning. Just look up and say this to yourself. You know, it's been 2 hours. I don't even desire water. I'm going to drink a cup anyway. Even if you just drunk a half a cup every 2.5 to 3 hours, you're giving your body some water. So I have a niece. My niece has a hair shop in Water Tower Place. If you've ever been to Chicago, big, beautiful place downtown. She has her own business. She has 4 different places where she do hair. She has her own business, such a success story. But guess what happened? All of a sudden she dropped, body racked with pain, didn't know what was going on. She went into the hospital, found out she had a gallstone so big that they had to go in and cut it out. It couldn't pass. The doctor said, you don't drink any water. She's so busy doing hair, she forgot to drink water all her days, and the body's completely dried up, just about all those stones, everything that could not pass from the liver or from the kidneys or whatever, from the tract, because there was no water. You just need to, if you desire to live, you got to know you have to drink water. So I'm going to get on your case and tell you, get to drinking. No, but we need to. But God has blessed us with watermelons. He blessed us with all these things that have these juices in it that helps us. So we talked about strawberries, blueberries, watermelons, the greens, and all those things that help with the kidney. So that helps replace some of the water. But you need that water to clear all those toxins out your body.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Is there anyone else that wants any question? You could
I
raise
have a
up your hand.
I have a question. Sorry, my phone won't allow me to raise my hand. I
Okay.
just wanted to find out about when you eat in season. Because I remember as a little girl, child growing up in Jamaica, we used to eat in season. Like if it wasn't in season, we didn't, you know, it wasn't available, so we didn't have it. So, and also when I came to Canada, I noticed that back then, especially Italians, they always, used to be canning and stuff like that. So people used to eat in season. Was that better for us then, or is it better for us to eat the things that are in season?
Good question. The reason why it was good then because you had it. You had an abundance. So God has blessed us now that we can actually can. And I remember a pastor a long time ago. He used to say something that I didn't catch as a young kid. He would say, "Get all you can and can all you get." What that meant is get it all while it's there. Like if you see apples and berries and stuff like that, that there will come a time where it's not in season. You can preserve it in a proper way that you can eat it out of season. So it was great to eat it in season because the tropical fruits, there's an abundance of it. But if it's when it's out of season and there's nothing else that gives you those nutrients and those vitamins, then you kind of miss out on that for a certain part of the year, where you can now preserve those things, whether you dehydrate them or preserve them in different kinds of ways. You can now preserve those things so that you can eat them out of season. So in and out of season is quite awesome. So if you have the opportunity to preserve some of those things by freezing them, cooking them down, canning them, jarring them, what have you, freeze drying them, hydrating them, what have you, try to do that. Because remember, there's going to be a time of no buy, no sale. There'll be a time where everything is out of season. What I mean by that is the particular area that you used to go to get those items, because of what's coming in the world with these wars and with these pestilence and disease, you won't be able to get there. They're going to lock people down in states. It's going to sound crazy, and in zones. So this is preparation time. This is Friday before the Sabbath. We have to prepare. This is preparation time, if that makes sense to you. So if you can get some of those things that's in season now, preserve those for when it's out of season, and you can keep supplying your body with the vitamins and nutrients and things all year long, if that helps.
Okay. Anyone else would like to say? Okay, Sister Angela, your hand is up.
Hi, Brother Kevin. Good evening. Thank you for the presentation. Hello, everyone. Thank you guys for joining us and welcome. While you were presenting, my brother, I was just thinking because very few persons are really thinking and making informed decision and choices concerning what they're eating. People have become so used to eating based on maybe tradition, culture, or just what it seems like there is available, or it seems like others are eating, or what is being advertised or promoted over the TV. People tend to eat. And one of the things I find is when you talk with people about health and eating, the pushback that we get is you can eat anything. That's one of the biggest excuses you get. It doesn't matter what you eat, you can eat anything. Yet people are sick. Why is it that people are not thinking intelligently that if so many people are sick, if you have at least 3 in 5 persons who you hear that these persons are sick, it's cancer. There's diabetes and high blood pressure and obesity. It just makes me wonder what happened to the senses, why people are not thinking that obviously something is wrong and it has to do with what we're eating. And we just can't eat anything and expect to remain healthy. It's just as when you buy the car, if you buy a new car, it comes with a specification as to how to use that car, how to take care of it. The manual comes with it. And yet, this is a material possession, an item. It's not a human being. It does not have life. But yet they're telling us how to take care of this car. If that car says to use diesel, nobody's going to put gasoline. And if it says gasoline, we won't put diesel. Because if we have, just like what you have shared, then we would have breached the warranty. But yet, I'm hearing people are telling us that we can eat anything. It doesn't matter what you put in your bodies. Yet people are so sick, and they're not questioning why are we so sick. And people tend to believe that these manufacturers, they love people so much. That's why they're doing what they're doing. When it's the opposite, they don't care about you. They do not care about your health. They care about your money, full stop. That's all the agriculture and the food industry is all about money. When I go into sometimes I'm passing these stores, for example, in Canada, we have Tim Hortons. And when I look in and I shake my head and I'm saying, look at that, that's death right in the showcase. The donuts, number one, it's made from white flour, which is no good. Then in addition to the white flour, there's a sugar. As if that's not enough to kill us, then they add all the candies or the sugars on top of it, the frosting, the chocolates, and all these things. And so when you see that donut, it's loaded in other stuff and it's all chemicals and it's so sweet. And people are enjoying these things without asking the question, why am I sick? So it goes to show that as a people, we have a lot of appetite to control our lives to the point where we're just eating and digging our graves with our teeth. And we're senselessly just dying unnecessarily. My sister asked about the water. Many people will tell you they don't feel like drinking water, but we know that it's something that we must do. It's cold here in Canada during the winter months. And most times I do not allow my car to go low on gas. If it's not a half for me, a half equates to empty. So I tend to fill up my tank when it's on a half. And my car was really running low because it's cold and you don't have attendants here to serve. You have to get out of the car and fill your tank yourself. And I'm watching it getting low and I'm saying it's too cold. I do not want to go and pump my gas. But then guess what? I had to, because if I did not have to, then I would not be able to drive the car without gas. It's the same thing with the sister asked about not wanting to drink water and not feel like drinking water. You might not feel like drinking the water, but you know you must drink the water. So make it a habit, keep the water at your desk. If you saw that you you have a desk at work, keep it there every few minutes, you're taking a sip. If you're walking home, as you walk, have your water bottle with you, you take a few sips. Just develop a habit of drinking water. Thank you, Brother Shard, for giving me the chance to share. Go ahead.
Amen. Thank you so much for sharing these tips with us. Is there anyone else that would like to say anything? Any questions? Just
Real
raise
quick,
your hand.
let me respond to her real quick. The young lady, she made a good point.
Yes.
The industry counts people as sheep. They really do. You will not see a healthy commercial on television. You're going to see all the big, giant, juicy steaks. You're going to see the big lobster. You're going to see come out for your crab fest. You're going to see everything that's not good for you. Because so they lead and guide us. And we as a people, or sheeple as they call it, we are a lazy people. We want people to direct us what to do and what to eat. So some people need to just, we need to just recognize that, just like my sister just said, they only have the interest at hand for finances. What they produce, well, you can look at it and see everything that all the food commercials you see on television. If you read your Bible, you're going to find out that everything that they're selling you on television is what we're told not to eat. The worst things in the Bible, your shellfish, which is your lobster, your crab, and all that. You're going to see that, the pork and all these things, the blood and all this meat, and they show how rare it is. These are things that we're told not to eat. And those are the most expensive things. Ooh, I'm going out, I'm going to have steak and lobster. The things that we're not to eat, the things that we're not to eat. So they trick us with all of this. We have to take control of who we are. God made us, he gave us power, love, and a sound mind. And we know this body is God's tabernacle. We know we have, just like they have to bring the showbread in into the sanctuary, we have to bring things into this body that are wholesome and that are good for God's tabernacle, to keep it clean so that he can dwell in a clean place. So we have to bring in that water. We have to drink fresh, clean water, eat fresh, clean vegetables, eat fresh, clean fruit. You'll notice the benefits to being obedient to God and his statutes and laws. We'll feel better. We'll be more rejuvenated. We'll be more revived. And then we have to take care of our children. They're God's children, but we still have to take care of them. So when you're going to feed them something, make sure it's all nutritious. And you don't necessarily have to tell them, hey, this is something that's plant-based or this, that, and the other. It's dinner, or it's breakfast, or it's lunch. And they trust that mom and dad is going to serve them something proper to eat and not bring a lot of things into the house that's not nutritious. So, but we have to stop being led at some point and know that we have a leader, our true leader, who our true leader is. We got to stop being led by the big companies because they don't have our health at heart. I mean, they count us as sheeple, and when we die, they make money off of that. So we have to live for God.
Amen. 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 Yes, I see a hand up. PG, you could go ahead and unmute.
Yes, hello. Good evening, everyone.
Go ahead.
When it comes, you guys are hearing me?
Yes, we do.
Okay, when it comes on to the water, is there a special brand that is better than another brand, or they're all the same?
If I was to answer that question, what they're finding out now, I tell you, the best water, honestly, the best water just comes from the ground, comes from a well. So if you got, because that's what the Bible tells us, if you got, water on your land, water on your property, if you got your own well, because God has the best. Look how old water is, first of all. It goes up and it comes back down, it goes up and comes back down, and it's been doing that since God created this, since God created it. And yet we get clean water from our wells. But from the stores now, they're saying that the plastic bottled water has these tiny, 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 tiny little plastic particles that can now get into your kidneys and things through drinking the water. So we really don't know what's safe, but we do know we need water. So if we can, and my thing is country living, that's our background, that's what we're teaching. So my thing is you need to have fresh water, just like you need fresh air. If you ever read any of the writings of Ellen G. White, and they tell you about country living, water on your property, all these things so that you get all these nutrients, you get fresh air. That's why the sanitariums were in the country. They had septic tanks, they had water. Where if you lived in a city, everything became contaminated. So just think about this. If you live in a city right now, and God forbid, tomorrow, all the electric power go off, you will not get fresh water from anywhere. it will not exist. How long you think it'd be before Walmart runs out of water? And then the truck on the way to Walmart gets bombarded and hijacked. So to answer that question, I want to say water is water, but it's not. You need to have the best water is water coming from the earth. So you need to have your own land, country property, which we'll assist you with, and have your own well, get that water coming up, if that makes sense. So fresh water
Yes.
from the earth.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Sister Elsa, I see your mic is open.
Yes, just a question. I think we don't have well here because we are from the West Indies. So is boiling your own water the best remedy?
Boiling your water is quite awesome. I remember doing that as a young man when we moved out to the country, boiling your water, because some wells aren't deep enough, or you have to go get water out of the stream. So when you do bring that water to a boiling point, it does kill a lot of the things that's in there, your parasites and your impurities and a lot of that. And then not only do you boil it, you can also strain it. You can strain it first and then boil it and then strain it again afterwards, after you boil it, and let it cool down and sit for a while, and there's good clean water. So that's a good question. However, being open and honest with you, there are chemicals in certain waters in certain areas where boiling will not kill it or destroy what's in it. Sad to say. But yes, ma'am, boiling is always a preferred method.
About this eating different. What do we eat on a regular basis on like for breakfast in the morning?
Fruits and vegetables. I mean, fruits and vegetables. A lot of things, again, because when you break that fast, the body needs to clean. The body's been laying there all night, and it's been, doing what it can do while you lay down. It's healing you. It's kind of detoxifying if you drank a lot of water and ate certain things, the right things you ate. It's actually going to work on you. That's why it puts you to sleep, so it can do what it has to do. So when you get up in the morning and you break that fast, first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna have to use the bathroom. You usually get a lot of those things out of there. So get a little water in there. Get a little water in your body, and about 20 to 30 minutes later, get you a little food in there, or vice versa. Do one or the other first. Put a little time in between the two. So if that belly's hurting, you got to get some food in there. Go ahead and get that in there. Wait about 20 to 30 minutes, and then drink you a couple glasses of water. Technically, they want you to do that before you eat because it gets the things flushing real good. But if you drink water at the same time you're eating, it kind of dilutes your stomach acids just a little bit, or quite a bit. So you don't want to do that. If you're going to eat first, wait about 20 to 30 minutes, because let your stomach acids help break all that food down, and then go ahead and drink you some couple cups of water to get things going. So, but fresh fruit, vegetables, and or smoothies in the morning get you going.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Okay, we will have our last hand for tonight. The last hand is Sister Rena. You could go ahead.
Yes, good evening, me again. I know sunshine is very vital to the body, very, very important, but so that you are working in an air-conditioned place for 8 hours. When the sun rise, you're in work already. When the sun down, you finish work. How damaging that is to your body, and what can we do to replace the vitamin D in your body? Thank you.
Oh, because you missed sunlight? Well, there's quite a few things. There's quite a few foods that contain vitamin D, and those will be easy for you to look up. And then there's quite a few vitamins that are the plant-based vitamins that have a lot of vitamin D in it. But nothing can really replace God's sunlight. I mean, there's things you can do. There are foods you can't eat. There's a lot of foods that contain vitamin D. So look those up. I'll put together a nice little list for you. But the other things is when you get that weekend off, get out there in the sun and enjoy it. And just get an overabundance of it and enjoy it. But I know what you're saying. I work 12.5-hour days, certain days of the week. So yeah, the sun, it's dark before I get in. It's dark when I get out. Just recently, since the time change now, I get off, it's still a little sunlight outside. But as you can, for breaks and or lunches, go outside, eat your lunch on the bench. Go outside, eat your lunch in the car, on the car, anything you can to get a little extra sunlight for you. And also drink plenty of water before going, if you can, go back to work. Again, that time difference between it. Drink your little water right before lunch, or eat your lunch and then drink your little water a little ways after that. But keep your body hydrated for one. If you can go out for sunlight for breaks, a lot of people at work, they smoke. So they go out there, they're getting vitamin D, but they're killing their lungs. You can go out, same breaks. You breaks and lunch, go outside, get some vitamin D, come on back in, get back to work.
Amen. That's it for tonight for the questions. And I just want to thank you again, my brother, for
You're welcome.
tonight's presentation. And for those who want to find it, you could find the recordings on it. It will be on YouTube, Leap to Health Ministries YouTube channel. So you could go back and watch the video because there is so much information. So I just want to thank everyone for joining us this evening. And if you look in the chat, you're going to see our order of events. So every second and fourth Tuesday nights, we have our Let's Talk Health program. And every first and third Tuesday nights, we have live interview with persons battling with various types of illnesses. Every Sabbath evening, you could join us for our Sabbath evening devotion. And on Sunday evening, we are doing our Bible study every Sunday. Right now, we are looking at the sanctuary. We are journeying through the sanctuary. So join us and continue to be blessed. And the information that you have received, whenever you go to the YouTube and you find a link, please share it with those who are in need, because I believe we are in a food crisis. And even though we are eating healthy, but they are placing so many things in those foods that it's better to grow your own. So thank you again for joining us, and you could now unmute your mic and say your goodbyes and good night. It was a night well spent, and I'm just praying that God will continue to use Brother Kevin and Rita, his wife, as they continue journeying. And I hope that you guys save the information so you could join them also and support them in whatever way you can, because they are doing a great job for the Lord and they are building a community. And I believe everyone needs to be on board. So thank you again and good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone. Thank you so much.
Good night.
God bless.
Good night.
Good
Thank you.
night.